Mr. Nick Cassidy.
Here we are.
And the crowd go wild. How's it going, mate?
All good, thank you, man. How are you?
Yeah, really good. It's weird. I haven't seen you for so long. You've always been that one annoying competitor that's always there while I'm on track. Then we'll get back to that in a minute. How have you been? What have you been up to in the last crazy few months?
I've been quite good. It's been strange, mate, because I think I'm probably at quite a different end of my career to you in a way, but this break has still been, in a way, kind of good. I've enjoyed having a bit of time off, doing some different things, and I know everyone wants to hear me say, "Oh, I wish I was racing. I wish I was flat out." But honestly, a couple of weeks off was pretty good. But yeah, we get to the stage where we're ready to get back into things.
Yeah, it's a funny one, but it definitely, it's a breath of fresh air, a bit of a break, and you come back, a lot stronger. And I think it's the same for everyone. And I think you got to take the positives from an issue like we've had with the pandemic. And I'm sure you're fitter than ever. What have you been doing to keep fit?
Yeah, it's a funny one because, not about the fitness, but about having a break. And I think it's been a perfect chance to have a few weeks off, think about where I'm at in career, in my life, what do I want to do, and kind of get a plan together, really. And so that's probably something that I've been lacking from a personal point of view, in terms of planning my future or what do I want to do in the last few years. And so I think, this period's been quite good for that. Fitness-wise, man, I've just started getting back into cycling. I've just got the bike prepped again. Started having some good weather in Tokyo, and so it's been good to get out and get on a few rides.
Yeah, I guess the roads are pretty quiet still as well, so you feel a bit safer.
Oh, I still find.
I always found when I was riding in Japan that it was the taxi drivers.
Really?
That used to scare me. Yeah. Everyone else on the road was fine. It was always the taxi drivers.
Yeah. Where did you normally ride to?
When I was in Tokyo, it was just around the palace.
Okay. Yeah.
Doing loops with James and others, JP. But apart from that, Hakone, I went to Hakone cycling. A few places. It's just, I can't really remember. But I used to love going to circuits and riding around circuits, as we used to run the track many times. But for me, I've been off the bike for a long time, and I've just, like you, just got back into it.
Really?
And it's such a breath of fresh air. It's so nice to get out and, with your thoughts. And as you said, in this moment in time, there's a lot for you to think about. You've come to Japan, you've won everything you've raced in, from Formula 3 to Super GT to Super Formula. You've achieved everything that you would have set out to achieve in Japan. Obviously, you have a contract with Toyota in both of those categories. So the future is obviously very good for you in Japan. But outside of Japan, there's also a lot of motor racing. There's a lot of things that I'm sure you're interested in doing. And you've raced outside Japan before. Just for the people that don't know, what have you raced in outside of Japan?
Yeah, well, to be honest, mate, my career started mainly in New Zealand. I mean, that's quite normal, but they have a series down there that runs across the European winter, Toyota Racing Series, 5-week championship. And growing up, that went very well for me. And so that kind of took me to Europe. But I never had a full season in Europe, really. I did a few races of Formula Renault here and there, a couple of races of Formula 3. And it wasn't until I started racing in Japan that I went back to Europe and did a full year of European F3. So, which was only 2016. So not that long ago, and I haven't done a huge amount there. And so it's definitely on the bucket list to go and do properly. I don't think I've had the success outside of Japan as I'd like to have, so something that I want to achieve.
Yeah, well, I mean, not blowing smoke where we shouldn't be blowing smoke, but everything I've seen you step into, you've been on it immediately, whether it's Super Formula, Super GT. Obviously you were right before I did, but I always remember in a race when I saw your car coming up behind me and it was you in it, I knew if you were quicker than me, you were going to be getting past me, whether it was left, right, over the top, you were going to do it. And there wasn't another driver that I was scared of losing a position to as much as you. I mean, the risks you took were high, I would say, even when fighting for a championship. But I think that's awesome. That's exciting. You know, being brave enough to push the limits when you're fighting for a championship, and it's paid off 99% of the time for you. Also, when you jumped in for the 10 hours of Suzuka last year in the Ferrari, on it straight away. And those things, I know the GT3 cars are not easy to get used to. So for me, it's watching your career. It's exciting to see what you've achieved, but it's also a little bit frustrating because, you know, as I'm sure you want, more opportunities to race, not just in Japan, but outside Japan in the future. If you had the opportunity, what would be the series that you would really like to do in the future? We're not talking next year because obviously, you know, your life is in Japan, but we're talking down the road.
Well, firstly, thanks, man. That's very nice of you. But
it's all right, mate. You can pay me later.
You know, honestly, you know, we all dream of Formula One. Guys like yourself had amazing careers there, and you know, you dream of that. But I'm not negative about not being there at all. I mean, I'm pretty realistic as a person. I kind of know that there are guys probably more talented, there are guys less talented, and we've just got to work away, right? And if that opportunity came, I'd be extremely grateful for it. But if it doesn't, I'm not unhappy with, you know, what's happened. But in the future, Formula E for me is also very, very exciting. I think that championship.
Again, you tested. Where were you in the test? Where did you end up in the test sheet?
Well, it was, to be fair, mate, I mean, we were all rookies. So
where did you end up, though?
It was, quickest. But
okay. And didn't you set the lap record as well?
The track was a bit better. And
I know my stuff, mate.
Yeah, but yeah, so the test was successful, and I think for sure that's probably provided me with a few opportunities from that. But I'm under no illusions as well, you know. That test was one day, and so I'm sure the guys in that championship are at a pretty high level. It won't be something to walk into and be at the front straight away. There'll be a lot of learning to be had. But I'm interested by the championship and that challenge for sure.
Yeah, it's a very different type of racing, and you've really got to get your head around all the systems and what have you. From what I've heard, it's hours and hours and days of simulator driving. Would you be up for that?
Oh, I don't think that's a positive point of view. I mean, but I think that's part of it these days, right? And I love being involved in the development part of a racing car and being involved with the team. And I think the series has that aspect to it, and part of that is the simulator. So, yeah, I wouldn't go into it with a negative mind because of that.
Yeah, good. And and you'll be up against some super talented drivers out there, but I'm sure that you'd be able to hold your own. There's a seat available, I hear, at Audi. So talking about simulator drivers, yeah, mate, it's been an insane few months for racing drivers. You know, we've been under sort of house arrest, which is good. I think it's all been the right thing to do. But for us, we go mad because we are used to being out there driving crazy fast cars, things that a lot of people can only dream about driving, really, are the race cars that we drive. And now we're stuck inside with a simulator, which is the bit about racing that we don't like. So I've actually spent more time on the simulator than I did while I was in F1. I hated it when I was in F1.
Really?
Yeah, I absolutely hated it. But now I'm actually enjoying it because it's the only way to get that buzz.
Because you're winning.
Yeah, that as well. But it's weird because there are certain sensations, aren't there, that just don't work. You know, you can't feel the rear of the car coming around.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm doing Le Mans. I'm doing the 24 hours Le Mans in the simulator with 3 other guys, and the 2 sim drivers in our car are over a second quicker a lap. And I'm like, I don't understand.
But that's not
why
in sim world. That's not so much, right? I mean, the way how it's possible to find lap time, don't you think, is pretty crazy unique. Like, you don't go to a racetrack and go, all right, if I bang around here for 10 more hours, I'm going to find another second.
No, it's true. Well, and the thing is, you put these guys in a racing car, and I'm sure some of them are quick, but if they drive it like they drive the sim, they're going to be in the wall lap 2.
Right.
Because
so what's your opinion, mate, then, of these simulator programs and turning these gamers into racers? How does that then fit in with that perception? Because I have a similar point of view to you.
Well, you don't know what my point of view is yet, but
in terms of the driving style required for a sim versus a racing car. Yeah.
I do agree that I think that they definitely need time in a real car to get up to speed, and they have to approach it in the right way, and they need to be managed in the right way, because otherwise they're going to go out and hurt themselves. But I know firsthand from obviously Jan Racing, he's extremely quick. Also, we have James Baldwin in our GT3 car in the Rocket Motorsport McLaren.
Yeah.
And Chrissy, his teammate, best buddy, he said he jumped in was pretty quick straight away, which surprised him. And I said, yeah, I'm sure he's going to be, but it's when you have that first incident, when you know how much it hurts when you hit a wall, that you start bringing it back. But I think as long as they're managed correctly in the way that they arrive and they don't expect too much from themselves at the beginning, I think that they could achieve really good things in motorsport. The racecraft is one thing that they, real life racecraft is very different than in a simulator. I watch the sim guys driving and it's unreal where they put the car. It's a bit like watching you drive. But Max Verstappen, for example, amazingly quick over one lap in a sim, but then he's not quick in traffic. So it's very different. Some things they do relate and other things don't. So I think it's an exciting opportunity for sim drivers because, the two guys that I'm in the car with, in terms of their following on social media, they've got 45 people that follow them. You know what I mean? So we're going to try and ramp that up because these guys are really good and they put in 90 hours a week or something to be quick. But no, it's a strange world that we've all got ourselves into, but it's a fun new challenge, definitely. I think it's really good for them. And, the last few months have definitely helped the sales of simulators. But it's really helped people focus on sim racing because it's the only live sport that's been out there. You can't, the live races have grown over the last few months, and it's great to see sort of millions of people tuning in. It helps us all, to be fair, because we all have sponsors, and if we can get them on the cars, it helps even if it's not in reality. So, yeah. So, how was going back to pre-season? It feels like a long time ago that you were out testing the new Super GT and obviously the Super Formula. How did it all go? Because you had the new car in Super GT. Was pretty exciting.
Yeah, mate. It's been a strange one. It's been really weird the pre-season. I think part of that's because a lot of the cars and parts were delayed, so we haven't had as much testing as usual. And at the same time, without, I guess, now blowing smoke up your ass, but in terms of, for me, the level of the championship or the drivers that you race against have a big influence on, it sounds pretty bad to say this, but how seriously I treat it. And I don't feel this year that there's been the same intensity in the field. I think everyone's kind of getting repetitive in the way they're doing things. There are certain drivers that have been there for a long time now and are very happy to go through the motions. And as a competitor, I think maybe you probably saw the same over the last couple of years. Starting to see it now, even within Toyota, a few guys are similar. And to come in as a young guy with a bit of drive and see that is great because you can take advantage of it. But now I'm getting to the point of, come on, guys, step up. Let's keep, going at it. And this preseason was probably the first time that I started to feel like that. It's a strange one. And I always remember, actually, because, mate, I joined Super Formula Super GT 2017. And I must say, when I first got into a Super Formula car, I was, I'm hanging. and I've had races where in that year my fitness wasn't good enough, to be fair. And I didn't need to tell anyone that. I knew that. And I got to the year and I needed to do some work. And at the same time, you were joining Super GT the following year. You know, there was a lot of excitement built around that. And you're a guy in terms of fitness and things in Formula One, always been at a very high level. And that kind of taught me a bit, hey, you know, you've got a chance here to race against some pretty good guys. It's time for you to step up. And so I think in 2018, I made a good improvement there. I started feeling really good in the car. Maybe I wasn't the fittest guy still, you know, I still had a lot of work to do, but in terms of my race fitness and how I was in a car, I made a big step up. And I'm now looking for a similar thing in my racing to keep that challenge going. And so, yeah, it's been a weird time to kind of sit back and realize and look at all that.
Yeah, don't think about it too much, mate. I mean, that's the thing with having 3 months out. You guys have got a new car, which, you know, when you're inside it, you can't see what it looks like. And underneath, you know, a lot of it's very similar. But you're going to have a challenge, I think, this year. Looking at how quick the Honda was, it surprised me.
No, it was quicker. It was quicker than us, for sure. Yeah,
I was massively surprised.
Yeah. Why were you surprised? Because of the big change.
I knew all the changes over the winter, and obviously their lead test driver was my teammate. So throughout last season, he was doing secret testing in the car and was telling me how it was. So he said it just feels the same, JB. It doesn't feel any different. And you know, I think all of Honda were really expecting you guys to just, you know, initially to really blow them away with the new car. You know, and testing it looked really quick, you guys. So I still think you guys will be there. And whether you're just holding back or you're running too high downforce in testing or what, I don't know. But you guys always pull it out. Pretty much every race we went to last year, you guys were quick at some point, whether it was in qualifying or in the race. So I think when you get out on track, you'll feel that racing spirit come back, and you'll be head down the cast that we know. So I'm looking forward to watching it, mate. So I'll be keeping a close eye on everything.
It's cool to hear. But no, I think you're right though. I mean, one thing I would say is the new car come out really strong out of the box, and probably only disappointing thing is that we haven't kept evolving. We've had a few things holding us back in testing. So, you know, for sure, there is good potential there still. But with these Class 1 regulations, I think that the 3 manufacturers are closer than ever, which is bloody cool.
Really? Good. Yeah, good.
Which is, you know, from a fan point of view or looking at the championship to watch and follow, yeah, that'll be pretty cool.
Awesome. And you got a great teammate, and you know, you, as you said, you know, you really like getting involved in the setup and developing the car and the team. It's exactly what you got to do, whether it's whatever you're racing in, Super Formula or Super GT, or looking at racing in Europe or in America in the future. Mate, if I had a team, I would definitely give you a shot. But you don't want to step down to GT3. So
you do have a teammate.
Who knows, mate? I mean, my aim would be as a team owner, to be part owner of a team would be to race at Le Mans. You know, that's got to be the aim, and you'll be up there on the list, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Just you've got to back off a little bit.
Come on. Are you still driving there this year yourself?
This year was never really on the cards to race at Le Mans, but next year I hope so. You know, that's the aim. I mean, I'm 40 years old, which sounds stupid. I mean, I'm 15 years older than you, which is madness. I don't get it. I don't know where it's gone. I feel 25. I don't feel any different.
That's pretty cool.
And as long as you're putting the time and the effort in and you still feel fit, makes no difference whatsoever. Reaction is still good. So I'm loving my racing. And, you know, here in California, I've got the great outdoors like you did back home. So it's good because I get in the UTV or I get in my trophy truck and head out into the desert. There's kart circuits nearby. So, mate, I'm there. I'm ready. I'm ready to take you on, buddy. I think I am. Definitely on the sim. So, mate, the future's looking good. You got to keep your head down and just keep putting yourself out there. Be positive as you are, mate. And your talent on track really, really says it all. But no, I'd love to see you racing at Le Mans. I think that'd be awesome for you.
Thanks, man. Well, yeah, I'm meant to be there this year in P2 as long as things can go along. I've just met a friend of mine from Japan. He's nearly 60 years old, but always wanted to race at Le Mans. And he's got into a P2 car middle of last year and having a crack. So
wow,
it's pretty cool to be there and help him out, but at the same time, to have the race under my belt, I'm sure will be a good thing for the future. Right?
Yeah, mate, when you can't arrive in a top team and go and hope to win Le Mans in your own category first time out. It's so competitive, and the circuit takes a long time to get used to. But mate, you'll absolutely love it. The whole thing. It's a week long, like a festival, if you like, and when it happens, everyone's going to be so excited about racing that it's going to be even better. So I do recommend driving on the sim though. You will get to grips with it pretty quick because it's so similar.
Yeah, well,
to reality.
On iRacing, or
no, it's on R Factor.
R Factor, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and that's what the Le Mans race is going to be on. So give it a go, mate. I can give you some pointers as well if you're going to jump in the car to get a feel for it, mate. Looking forward to seeing you race this year. You're gonna have a lot of competition. Super GT is obviously the one that I love the most, but Super Formula as well. You know, reigning champion. I mean, pretty awesome.
Sounds cool. Sounds good.
So mate, who do you want to pass the baton on to? Who are you gonna interview?
Yeah, so I'm thinking about going for not a racing driver, a Japanese rugby player, Akito Yamada, and good friend of mine. We train at the same facility here, and they've also had obviously a bit of off time in this period. So over to you, Aki. We'll see what you've got, man.
Awesome. Good man. Good speaking to you.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks for catching up, man. It's been great.
And you. Cheers.
KIZUNA